Okay, you might want to get your wish list ready because 2025 in gaming is looking, well, absolutely stocked. Seriously, we're talking the return of legendary franchises, a whole wave of incredible indie games, and oh yeah, a brand new console to shake things up. It's a lot for sure. So today, let's break it down and try to make some sense of the amazing year ahead.
So take a look at this number. Over 300. What do you think that is? The total number of games coming out in 2025? Huh, not even close. This is just the very, very tip of the iceberg.
That's right. That 300 plus number, that's just the indie games we know are coming in 2025. Once you start adding in the giant publishers, all the surprise announcements that are bound to happen, yeah, the full list is going to be absolutely massive.
Feeling a little overwhelmed? Yeah, that is completely understandable. But hey, don't worry, that's what we're here for. We've dug through all the release schedules to find the big trends and the can't-miss moments that are really going to define the year so you can figure out what your 2025 is going to look like.
First up, let's talk about the big guns, the Titans. 2025 is really being held down by the return of some of the biggest names in the game. You know, these are the heavyweight blockbuster titles that are going to be all over your feed all year long. And I mean, just look at this calendar. It is packed from start to finish. We're kicking things off with Monster Hunter Wilds in February, then we're off to feudal Japan with Assassin's Creed Shadows in March, and then we go full-on medieval with Doom: The Dark Ages in May. The second half of the year is just as wild, with a huge remake of Metal Gear Solid Delta in August, more chaos in Borderlands 4 in September, and, you know it's coming, the juggernaut Call of Duty in November. These games are basically the pillars of 2025. But the story of 2025 isn't just about those titans, not at all. Let's flip the script and look at the other end of the spectrum, where small teams are cooking up some really huge ideas. The indie scene has been on fire, and 2025 looks like it's just going to keep that creative streak going.
You know, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It feels like every year we say, okay, that was the best year for indies ever, and then the next year comes along and just blows us away all over again. It's incredible. The creativity is just off the charts, and 2025 is proving to be no exception.
And the variety is just staggering. I mean, on one hand, you have Hollow Knight Silksong, which is maybe one of the most anticipated sequels of all time, period. Then, on the complete opposite end of the universe, you've got Tales of the Shire, a cozy, no-combat-allowed life sim set in the world of The Lord of the Rings. And in between, you have everything from a sequel to the sci-fi narrative masterpiece Citizen Sleeper to a wild-looking business sim called Promise Mascot Agency. So the takeaway is pretty clear. No matter what you're into, the indie scene has something amazing waiting for you in 2025. Okay, let's pivot. We've talked a lot about software, so let's switch over to hardware. Because you just can't talk about 2025 without talking about, well, probably the single biggest event of the entire year, the arrival of a brand new console. Well, there it is. It's official. The successor to the Nintendo Switch, what everyone's been calling the Switch 2, is launching on June 5th. After years, and I mean years, of rumors and speculation, we finally have a date. It's dropping right in the middle of the year, and it's going to completely reshape the console conversation. And would you look at this launch lineup? Nintendo is coming out swinging. Of course, you've got the first-party monster hit like Mario Kart World, but look at that third-party support. Getting massive games like Civilization 7, Hogwarts Legacy, Street Fighter 6, and even Final Fantasy 7 Remake Intergrade right at launch, that's a huge statement. It tells you Nintendo isn't just relying on their own characters, they want this console to be the place you play everything. And as if that launch wasn't big enough, Nintendo is making sure the console's first holiday season is one to remember. The long-awaited Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is confirmed to hit the Switch 2 on December 4th. Wow, what a way to cap off the first year. Okay, let's zoom back out and look at another huge trend that's really cutting across every platform. If you were to pick one single genre that's just having a massive moment in 2025, the answer is clear. It's the role-playing game. It is truly the year of the Quest. And this chart really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? Whether we're talking JRPGs, Western RPGs, little indie games, or giant AAA blockbusters, a huge chunk of the year's most hyped-up games are all about leveling up, exploring massive worlds, and going on epic adventures. This isn't just a small trend, it's a full-on RPG renaissance. And what's so great is the incredible variety we're seeing inside the genre. On one side, you have something like Avowed, a big first-person Western RPG from Xbox, and on the other, you've got Octopath Traveler 0, a classic-style JRPG with that gorgeous HD 2D look. Two totally different ways to tell a fantasy story, both coming in 2025, both promising hundreds of hours of adventure. And that variety is exactly why the genre is so dominant right now.
So, we've looked at the titans, the indies, the new hardware, the big genre trends. It's an absolutely incredible year. But really, it all boils down to one simple question for you. With all this amazing stuff to choose from, how do you even start to plan your year? Well, here's a simple strategy. First, pick a couple of those blockbuster titans to really anchor your calendar, your absolute must-plays. Then make sure you leave some room to explore the indie scene. You never know when you'll find your next all-time favorite game there. Keep a close eye on the Switch too and its exclusives, for sure. And finally, if you love a genre that's having a big year, like RPGs, maybe plan to just go all in and dive deep.
From Assassin's Creed Shadows and Doom to Hollow Knight, Silksong, and Metroid Prime 4, 2025 is just brimming with potential. It's got endless worlds to explore and countless stories to experience. The only real question left is, what adventure are you going to choose first?